Ming Dynasty. Japanese bandits are trying to get their hands on a map of China's coastal fortifications, which is stored in a box guarded by a group of brave patriots. The search leads the Japanese to a giant floating fortress called the Dragon Gate Inn, where they are greeted by its hostess, Xiangyu. But the Japanese are not the only guests of the ship. A squad of detectives from the Palace Secret Service also sneaks in. Dragon Gate Inn by King Hu is one of the most important, in many ways seminal Chinese films. It was released in 1967 and established not only new technical standards in the genre of wuxia movies, but also offered a unique plot structure. Several warriors from opposing factions find themselves in the closed space, where they begin a war not only of blades, but also of minds. Who will strike first? Who will be the first to give themselves away? Who can you make an alliance with, and who will stab you in the back at the first opportunity? In the electrified atmosphere of the looming threat, it didn't even matter so much who was good and who was bad. A multi-figured game with erased notions of good and evil was unfolding on the screen. The only thing that mattered was how vividly the hero showed himself. Dragon Gate Inn can still be found on lists of the best Chinese films of all time. It has several official remakes, including 1992 versions with Donnie Yen in the villainous role and 2011 version with Jet Li in the role of main hero. The movie didn't go unnoticed in the West either. Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight uses exactly the same plot engine, only there instead of a sandstorm around a tavern lost in the middle of nowhere, a snowstorm rages. The most surprising thing about the new Dragon Gate Inn is that there is even less of the original material left here than in Tarantino's movie. There are only 3 opposing sides in the story, and the authors get right down to business. Instead of a long game on each other's nerves, the rivals immediately pull out weapons. Moreover, the plot is still built in such a way that all the action is shifted to the second half of the movie. But instead of suspense in the first half, we are offered some sluggish showdown between Xiangyu and her lover, another patriot, who disappeared many years ago, and now has returned and is trying to convince the girl that all this time he was doing his duty and loves only her. Dragon Gate Inn significantly benefited from the tight, enclosed space, but in the new movie the tavern is a huge ship, inside which somehow fits almost a city with dungeons, labyrinths, and giant snakes. The casting is unremarkable, with none of the lead actors truly memorable. The fights are routine and uninspired. All of this takes new film even further away from the uniqueness of a King Hu movie and brings it closer to an average Chinese online action movie from the first half of the 20s. We can't say that it's a failure, but it's obvious that it doesn't smell of success either.